everybody, Jordan here, and today we have a new Minecraft video. Today, we have a United Airlines Boeing 767-400ER in 2:1 scale. I'm really excited to show this off. I feel like we haven't shown the 767-400 in ages, even including my old channel, so let's just jump into this one. It's really cool. It has a lot of history. So to begin the tour of this aircraft, we have the nose of the 767. And interestingly enough, the nose of the 767 is the exact same nose as a 777. And it's true, section 41 is the exact same. So you can swap a 777, if it loads in, you can swap a 777 radome with a 767 and vice versa, and it'll work flawlessly. And this was done intentionally by Boeing in order to save time on development and certification costs and whatnot. Anyways, we have the Star Alliance logo, we have the nose gear of the 767, and then we have the forward door. Now, interestingly enough, on the 767, the doors kind of slide upwards like they did, I believe, on the L-1011 and DC-10. Now, this was kind of an interesting thing that Boeing did at the time. It's a cool feature, but it's also really heavy. And it's just unnecessary weight, which is why more modern airplanes like the Airbus A350, A330, 787, etc. don't really do this anymore because it's just added weight and complexity to a system that is just not really necessary. But yeah, really cool. So if you ever see a 767 door, just kind of watch it. It slides up and slides down. It doesn't like swing outwards. But anyways, we have United written on the door, and then we have the General Electric CF6 engines. As remember, these airplanes came from Continental. So yeah. We have the the L2 door, and then the L3 over wing, behind the wing exit, and then we have the rear L4 exits. We have the American flag, the registration, and then the rest of the wing. And this is a great segue into the interesting features and development of the 767-400, as in the early 1990s, Boeing proposed an extended fuselage 767. Now, this is the first time Boeing extended an airplane twice. And this is a double extension from the 767-200. Remember, the 300 is a stretch of the 200 and the 400 is a stretch of the 300. So they really kind of stretched this one out. Now, this aircraft was equipped with newer technology such as raked wingtips and an upgraded flight deck from the 777, but this airplane wasn't very successful. It doesn't have an increased fuel capacity really compared to the 767-300, so it actually has less range than a 767-300ER, and that kind of hurts it a little bit. Now, ultimately, only 38 767-400s were built, with 37 of them being passengers, being split between Continental Airlines and Delta Airlines, with the last one initially being a militarized version that was supposed to go to the United States military, but ultimately that contract was canceled and it ended up going to it was a government aircraft that was sold to Bahrain, I believe. So yeah, not a very successful airplane in the grand scheme of things. If we look back at this retrospectively, I don't think Boeing does this again if they have the option to do this, because hindsight is 2020. Manufacturers sometimes will take on and bite the cost for relatively simple modifications, such as the 737-700ER, which is an extended range version of the 700, which really just shoots up the range for operators like All Nepal Airways. But this much work and this much development for the 767, they probably wouldn't do that again. But the development of this aircraft and the sales record of the aircraft is really hindered by the Airbus A330-200, as that airplane is a lot more capable than the 767, unfortunately. It has a greater cargo capacity, greater range, and it's just more capable than the 767. Remember, the 767-400 doesn't have the fuel capacity increase that, some airlines might have wanted. And even air carriers such as KLM ordered the A330-200 as it was a more capable aircraft compared to the 767-400, despite those airlines operating the 767-300. Ultimately, this aircraft was used to replace the DC-10 and L-1011s for both Continental and Delta Airlines. And it works pretty well for that, but airlines wanted more than that. So it wasn't, that good of a sales, it didn't have that good of a sales record. But anyways, we can continue onwards. Miles did an outstanding job with this livery. He ended up doing a great job with the United Globe, especially with the gradients that's all over it. Here's the tail of the aircraft with the auxiliary power unit, the horizontal stabilizers, the rear of the airplane, and here's the cargo bay on the right side and the cargo bay at the front of the aircraft. Again, the Airbus A330 has a larger cargo bay. The A330 is a bigger airplane in general. It's a wider fuselage, so you can, you have more cabin space, more floor space to do whatever you want with it, larger cargo bays. So yeah, again, 767-400 is a really good airplane at its niche role, but that's about it. So yeah, It's kind of a shame that it's not that successful. But anyways, we can take a tour on the interior, and this is the new interior for United, as the 767-400, despite it being a 90s airplane and kind of a limited fleet type for both Delta and United, they both put their best interiors on this. They keep them very modernized, so that's great to see. So this is the United Polaris cabin. This is the new cabin design that they have, and Miles again did an outstanding job with this right here. So it has some alternating seating in 222. And as we move forward on, we have United Economy Plus. I believe it's Economy Plus. I'm so sorry. I'm having a big brain fart right now. But this is like kind of their, interim kind of business class seating right here. And this is Economy Plus. I am having such a brain fart right now. I'm actually gonna, I'll look this up. What is that? What is that? I ended up looking this up. It's Premium Plus. I don't know why I had a stroke remembering that. It's Premium Plus. I'm sorry. But anyways, moving onwards, we have this is Economy Plus. This is the extra legroom economy, and then there's just regular economy, and then there's some more Economy Plus throughout the rest of the cabin right here. So yeah, here's the rear galley, plenty of space for the cabin crew to do their work and whatnot. And yeah, the 767 is a really nice airplane. I really enjoy it as a passenger. I've flown transatlantic on 767s and transcontinental on these airplanes. I actually have a trip report on my channel flying on a on my other channel, flying on a 767-300 transatlantic. And yeah, I've flown middle seat in economy and in economy plus on the 767. It's great. I think it's great. The 232 configuration means that you actually have a pretty decent amount of space and nobody feels too cramped on it, as opposed to other wide bodies that are 333 or 343 or heaven forbid like 252 or stuff like that, or 353. Yeah, I really like this. I think it fits very, very well, and it's very comfortable. I think Economy Plus is one of the best values in the industry. I think it gives you the benefits of, extra legroom, get to stretch out. I can sleep anywhere and everywhere on an airplane, so I really liked it when I flew on it, but it was a lot more affordable than a regular seat. So I'm sorry, a regular business class seat. But anyways, with that being said, we can go to the cockpit of the aircraft if I can get inside of it. Wow, okay, there we go. Anyways, here's the flight deck of the 767-400, and as you can remember me saying, this has the 777 upgraded flight deck with LCD displays as opposed to the CRT displays on the 767-200 and 300. Now again, this is essentially the exact same flight deck as the 777, and it's a really modern, really advanced flight deck. But again, this airplane just wasn't that popular with the airlines. It just had a very abysmal sales record. Kenya Airways initially, I believe, had 3 on order, but they ended up canceling it in favor of the 777 because again, it sits in a really awkward position. If you wanted, the range, you would get an A330 or a 777. If you want the range of capacity, you get an A330 or a 777. But if you don't need it, you would get a 767-200 or 300. There's no real reason for this because it just doesn't have the capabilities that were necessary for some of the airlines. But with that being said, it's still a fascinating airplane. It's super cool to look at. It's just like a mix of really 80s, 90s tech and really modern things from the 777 with its raked wingtips and all. It's super cool to see these in person and whatnot. But anyways, that's just about all I have for today's video. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this and want to see previews of my work or interact with me and other individuals who are into aviation and Minecraft gaming and other topics like that, don't be afraid to check out our Discord server. The link is in the description as well as the comment section, so give it a look. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jordan, and I will see you in the next episode.